Good evening and welcome to Code Without Barriers virtual meetup. And today we are jumping into AI-powered security and how you can use OpenAI, Azure OpenAI, to find or enhance the incident response in cybersecurity. So today we have Sergey, and he will be walking us through the topic, and he's a Microsoft certified trainer, and also he's certified for ethical hacking. And he'll be giving a brief introduction to himself and going into the session. Before I give him the mic, I just want to say that the session is recorded. You do not need to record it on your end. We will be sharing the recording, and there is a certificate of participation to all who joined till the end of the session. Okay, please be make sure to be filling out the form that I'll be sharing so that you can confirm that you'll be receiving it. Okay. That is all from my end. Without any delay, let's get into the session. Over to Sergey.
All right. Quick question. Can you hear me? Because am I audible?
Yes, you're audible and we can see you, Chris. Yes.
Okay, so let me share my screen as well. And because I didn't have my microphone before, so I just want to make sure that you can see everything, that you can see me, you can see my screen, and so forth. Is it okay? So my screen is visible and so forth?
Yes.
Okay, good. So then welcome to the session. Welcome to the session, and we are starting this AI-powered incident response with OpenAI that we're going to deploy in Azure. So our the context, no sound. Come on. Are you sure that it's no sound on my end? Did you hear Sorag before, or it's just you cannot hear me? Or probably if you say no sound, then you cannot hear it at all.
Well, I can hear you perfectly fine. There seems to be no issues.
Okay.
Anybody else in the audience, can you confirm if you're able to hear me and speaker Sergey?
Say something in the chat, or at least that.
Yeah, gives us a thumbs up will be great. You can react on that to give us a thumbs up.
Thumbs up on what, that you are muted. Now, yeah, please write in the chat the message that you can hear me okay, and it's not only me and Surag that can hear each other.
Yeah, we're just talking to each other.
Maybe it's like one-to-one call and you're just visible here, but don't hear us. Oh, we hear you both. Okay, good.
Yeah.
So cool. If someone cannot hear, then fix it on your end. But even that you cannot hear. Anyway, so we have a recording, and let's get started. AI-powered incident response with OpenAI. Few words about myself. My name is Sergey, or Sergey, whatever. I'm Microsoft Most Valuable Professional, consultant, instructor. I do lots of things in offensive security. You may see on the left-hand side different badges from the offensive operations. If you want to find me on LinkedIn, you may find me. There's a URL and the badge that you can scan. So loud and clear on your end. So definitely we can have a session. So what I'm going to present here during the next 45 or something minutes, probably 45, and also your questions as well. So here I'm going to present how we can use AI in the operations that you have in your security operations center. So how can you leverage AI for the typical SOC operations? We're going to start from simple things. So we're going to start exploring like just a regular Copilot. I will not focus much on that because come on, you do it all the time. If of course, if you work in security operations, you use AI all the time, but not only in security. Honestly, you do it. I'm going just to show you a few examples, but we'll not focus too much on that because that's something that's obvious. Then I'm going to show you real quick Security Copilot, which is the offering from Microsoft when they embed AI into their different security tools. But because this one is at this point isn't even this point is a bit pricey, I also don't focus much on that. And not only because of the price, but also because there's no brainer. It's just deploy and use. And there's not much you can configure there except like creating your own KQL plugins or something like that. But where we can have more creativity, and that's where I'm going to show you, is how can we use AI models. By the way, it may not be only AI. If you would like to use DeepSeek or whatever, that will work. But I will use example with OpenAI models. How can you deploy them in AI Foundry? And how can you use those models to automate the response? So how can you give the response to incoming incidents that you have in your operation center? Then we'll take a look. How can we improve this response? Because model may not know all of the nuances about your data. Model may not know about like a latest threats and what you can do. You can improve the knowledge base for the model using RAG, Retrieval Augmented Generation. Also, we'll take a look at the fine tuning of the models, which I will do quite briefly because nowadays modern models like GPT-5, GPT 4.5, and so forth, so more modern models, they give quite nice and accurate response. And there's no need to fine tune the models just to improve the accuracy and like integrity of the response, a consistency of the response. But still, you may train the model to make them more security oriented. So that's what we're going to discuss during the next something 40 minutes. All right, so let's start from the basic part. And that's where we're going to look at the some solutions that are in fact like let's say built in. So you don't need to do much with them. You just need to use them. And the first solution is Microsoft 365 Copilot Chat. So Microsoft 365 Copilot Chat, or how we just usually use the Copilot, that's the AI assistant that we use in like a chat, and we can ask questions to this assistant. So what is good about this? It is free. And I bet you use that on a daily basis. Maybe not Copilot. Maybe you prefer ChatGPT. Maybe Gemini. It depends on your preferences. But what is good about Microsoft 365 Copilot Chat? It is available for Entra tenant for any Entra account, and if you sign in with your Entra credentials, they will give you not just the chat that supports AI, but also they will protect your personal data. So your data will not be shared with OpenAI. Your data will not be used for training purposes. So it's very important in corporate scenarios. I'll show you that in a few moments. Sorry. Let's take a look how we can use that. How can we use Microsoft 365 Copilot Chat in like daily operations? First of all, analysis of code, scripts, and so forth. So if you see in the logs some kind of script or some kind of code, something that you don't fully understand, or maybe you can understand that, but it's a long code and you need to spend many minutes to analyze it. What you can do, you can quickly send it to Copilot and ask, what is that? Analyze it for me, and you will get the response in seconds. Not in minutes and not in hours, but in seconds. Which make it really efficient and from time perspective. What you can also do, this one is not very not that powerful like previous benefit, but also you can send your logs to AI and ask to analyze those logs. What may be the problem with this kind of thing? So you still need to export your logs and send those logs to AI, and the amount of logs you can send is still limited. So you cannot point AI to all of your data sources and say analyze them and give me them, like give me suggestions. You still need to export things and upload them to Copilot, and amount of data you can upload is still limited. So you may analyze the small amount of logs, and if some important events that you may not fully understand and you would like to analyze with the AI, you can do that. But don't expect that that AI will just go through all of your logs and give you some ideas about and do a threat hunting for you. Also, what is good about AI, you may create documents with AI or analyze documents. Because in security operations, we also have requirements to create some kind of reports. We need to create some kind of user awareness trainings and documents and so forth, and that's quite tedious. And what you can do with Copilot, of course, you can create it it can generate for you. Of course, you still need to modify it, but it will create a template for you. Also, what is good about this is that it can generate in different languages. And so you can just upload document in one language and ask to generate and adapt it for another language, make it more natural in a different language. So that's another benefit. Mostly I use this one, this benefit script analysis and document analysis as well, because document creation and analysis. So let's quickly take a look. I'm going to drag this window with Copilot. And let me also in parallel show you a few scripts I have. One script will be more straightforward. But even this script to analyze, you still need to spend some time, right? Let me zoom it a bit for you. So to understand this one, we can find that something happened here in TLS and 1.2. Then based on the variable name, I see XOR, so probably something about encoding. Then encryption, XOR encryption, UTF, and base 64. And I may deconstruct it and try to understand, because I can see also decryption. Even it's also based on the variable names. But it will take time for me. It will take time for me to understand what is that. Let me copy this and say analyze this script. Come on. I expected a quicker answer. Okay. After this period, I could even do it myself. All right, so let's see. Here's the clear security focus breakdown of the PowerShell that PowerShell does, why it's built that way, and how you can safely deobfuscate without running anything. And now, line by line, it explains me what it does, and then give me overall description. So this is fileless execution, so no script written to the disk, a technique commonly used by red teams and malware for stealth and evasion. And so also explains me about the risk and so forth. So it gave me a bit more than I asked for to give me. Maybe that's why it was a little bit longer. So it also told me like how can I deobfuscate it, and like safe variant. I didn't ask for that, but for some reasons it gave me those ideas. How can I investigate, and also how can I harden my environment to avoid this kind of attacks. Anyway, so that was the script analysis when we have like a shorter script. But let's try something else. Let me quickly drag another window And this time, let me zoom out a bit. Zoom out a bit. And here, I see much longer code, much longer. And this code is not just a PowerShell. That's it's Win32. It used Win32 APIs and like different API calls. So yeah, this one looks much more complicated. And to understand that one, I definitely need much more time. So probably even like minutes will not be enough. So I definitely need to dig deeper into that and to understand what this code is doing. So what we can do is an alternative. We can use AI for this as well. This time, if I just copy paste the code, it will be too much. I mean, it's too much code, it's too much text, so the window will not accept it. That's why I'm going to upload this file. So I upload the file already, and let me ask as well, analyze this code. Hopefully this time it will be quicker and it will not give me extra suggestions that I didn't ask for. Oh yeah, that was much quicker. And let's take a look. Now this long script is quickly explained. It's a PowerShell script that compiles C# in memory and injects shellcode into hidden Notepad process using classic Windows API calls, virtual alloc, write press memory, create a remote thread. So it's quite nice description and very quick. Very, very quick. And one last thing I would like to mention here that is not only powerful, I mean, this chat, but also because I logged in with my corporate credentials, it has enterprise data protection session. What is that? Let me quickly click on that. So if I log in with my Enter ID credentials, it will apply enterprise data protection on the prompts and the responses, which means that data is secure, encrypted, your data is private, with access control and policies applied to Copilot, copyright risks, but also quite important for many is that data isn't used to train foundation models. So your data stay private and will not be shared with OpenAI or anyone who's going to train the model based on your prompts and responses. All right, so that is the most basic, most simple tool that you can use with your security operations, the most simple AI tool. And I guess it's not something like super new for you because you already use security. If you're working security, you already use AI in your security operations or whatever you do in security. But let's take a look what else we can do. So next tool is called Security Copilot. Security Copilot, you may think about this like AI that built into our already existing security tools. So our XDR, our Purview, which is like information protection. That's where we can also have additional AI service. I mean AI agent and AI assistant that can help me with different operations. One of the things that you may notice about Security Copilot is the price. So initially price was quite high, let's call it like that, where you need to pay for all the usage of Security Copilot. Now Microsoft changed the licensing a bit, and now if you have E5 license, then you will get some free SCUs of compute units of the Security Copilot. So if you are on E5, then you may use Security Copilot without additional cost, at least for some time period. Maybe it will not be enough for you. Maybe you need more of Security Copilot and you still need to pay extra. But at least you will get some units included into your existing subscription if you have E5, of course. So, but if you don't have E5, or you need to have more than allowed like more compute units than you have, than you're allowed to use by your E5, then you can just purchase it using your Azure subscription and pay hourly for that. So let me quickly deploy Security Copilot. For that, I'm going to create security compute capacities. And here I need to deploy unit. Let's call that SCU. I'm going to place it into Europe, where I'm located. I'm going to deploy 2 units. Should be enough for my demo. But of course, in the real world, it will not be really enough for the operations, and you really need a lot of units. And you can see here each unit cost quite a lot. So without E5, that the price will, if you just pay standalone for it, price will be quite high. So mostly we are waiting for the E5 customers to get it included. Okay, so let me tick the box, click Review and Create, and click on Create. It shouldn't take long. It usually takes seconds, which is good. Which is really good about Security Copilot. Yeah, that's it. I can click on Finish Setup, which I normally don't need to do because if I deploy it not the first time, my workspace already will be configured. And you can see here, it just opened the portal, but there are no other setups. So everything is already set. And here I have 2 interfaces. One interface is called standalone. That's what you can see now. It's like a prompt, but this time this prompt and all my prompts connected to my data. So now it has access to my logs, to all my data I have collected in my Microsoft or whatever it could be, because we have connectors to other systems as well. So you may see here non-Microsoft connectors. And in this case, it will work with my data, not just something that I uploaded or sent as the prompt, but also the data I have in my logs. This interface, what is called standalone, consumes quite a lot. So if I send prompts, it will eat lots of my compute power. And so here you should be very, very careful with the prompt engineering, because when we work with Copilot, we may send a prompt, like a short prompt. It doesn't return the response that we need, and then we start to refine, and after a couple of refinements, it returns perfectly fine the response. Could be. Here, if we do this, if we send prompts one by one, we may consume too much and run out of capacity. So here you should be very careful with prompt engineering. But what I would like to show you in Security Copilot, I would like to show you embedded experience. Embedded. When the Copilot is built into existing portals. So now let me quickly click refresh on the portal XDR, Defender portal. Come on, tell me that Copilot is here. Yeah, here you go. So introducing Copilot and Defender. Let me close that. And now if I look at the incident and the response, I have a number of incidents. Like my last incident, at least the one that I can see first in the list. Probably it's not the last incident, but that's the incident with the priority, with the last incident with a high priority. So in this incident, I have 38 alerts. And just investigate it. That might be pretty complicated to do it like one by one. Let me just open this incident and let's take a look what will happen. Now, Copilot starts to give me some advices. Let's wait for it. Come on. Okay, so now this long incident with bunch of alerts. You can see here there's a long list of alerts. This incident was summarized. And now I can see this long list of alerts summarized and like squeezed into a few sentences, few paragraphs. So it describes me what was the incident in general, It like tells me what kind of actions were taken. Automate action. It tells me more details about how attack began and how it continued. And yeah, that's till the end. So one paragraph about overall incident and entities involved, one more about automated response, and 3 paragraph I got here that describe the incident itself. So like a flow of the incident. I can take a look at the different incident. Let's click on the incident, another one. And let me click on the, let's take something simple, where we have like let's take execution. Let's take execution on one endpoint. And now let's wait for the, this time incident is like much smaller. But look at this. Even here, I got summary with the details what happened. So first explains the incident, then like major steps that performed by attacker, and how the story ends. Also give me recommendations. What should I do? So the first recommendation here is to isolate device from the network, then reset password for the user account, and yeah, that was enough here to contain this incident, because this one is more simple. With the larger incident, of course, we may have more actions like a contact user, isolate device, and so forth. Isolate one device, another device, and so on. So that is Security Copilot. And before I move on, I would like just to show you one simple thing. Probably here I will not. If I look at the script drop, probably it will not really show me any kind of code, because the script will just drop but not executed. So you will not find much here. Yeah, that's true. So let me quickly go back to the previous incident. And here I'm going to find, let's say, process loaded suspicious .NET assembly. Let's see if I have here. Let's expand that. The sharp hound. No, not this one. So that was not my code. That was a bloodhound. So let's try something else. I'm going to find malicious PowerShell commandlet. Let's take a look at this one. Yep. So let me expand PowerShell commandlet, and you can see here there's a script and the button called Analyze. So if I click on the button, now it analyzing it for me. Don't you think it looks very similar to what I showed you before, when we had like a normal Copilot and when I just copy paste, and it made analysis for me. So here it just built in. Is it better? Maybe you don't need to copy paste, but generally speaking, it's kind of similar. And here I can see that the script used PowerShell to bypass execution. Yeah, it describes it pretty well, but again, we can get the same, but for free. So Security Copilot is really integrated into different portals. You may find it in the Intune portal, in the Purview portal, and like different portals. And like Microsoft at this point doing like integrate them more and more into different portals. Also, they create agents where you can not only get information, but also automate some responses. And so take some actions or do some scheduled tasks, for example, generate reports on the weekly basis. So you may find additional agents in the Security Copilot, which is kind of new feature that was released later. I mean, it was released this year. So if you go to agents, this means that. This means that you may find different agents. I have one of the agents called Threat Intelligence Briefing Agent, and this agent will generate threat briefing on the weekly basis. So that is Security Copilot. And again, most of those things in Security Copilot, they are just there. They just you just need to use them. Of course, you can develop some additional plugins. You can create your own agents, which is like still the room for extension. But that's the product that you deploy and use. But we can do it even more. We can customize it more, and we can build our own logic and do it much cheaper if we use AI models together with automation and create some kind of agent ourselves. Here, what I'm going to move to AI Foundry. I'm not sure if anyone here had experience with AI Foundry, because if you visit webinars, often probably someone else showed you before that, and it's quite common for developers to do that. Let me quickly give you the introduction into AI Foundry. So AI Foundry is the platform that owned by Microsoft that helps developers, can you hear that? Developers to create, manage, and deploy AI applications easily. So the actual fact that it's not really about applications and developers. It is about models and your application. You create your application separately, but AI Foundry will give you the actual model and access to the model that will be used with your application. And yeah, the most common use case is the applications that company develop. But we can also do the same in our AI, in our security operations, like using AI in our security operation. Let me quickly give you give an introduction into AI Foundry. So here, I have a AI Foundry logged in. I already pre-create OpenAI object. So, and in this case, because it based on OpenAI, then it will be only OpenAI models. But if you deploy just a project, you will see all models from other companies, not only OpenAI. Let me click on the model catalog and take a look what models are available. That's the base model that I can deploy and available to me if I deploy AI Foundry. So GPT-5, GPT 4.1, and so forth. So that's all OpenAI models available at this point. Still GPT 3.5, but not sure if we can do that because this model probably deprecate already. Still, I can use the model, seems like. Anyway, so I can even deploy that. Oh, retirement date. Anyway, so if I go back to the model catalog, I can see here more modern models like GPT-5, GPT 4.1, and so forth. What I need to do, I need to click on the model and say use this model, which will make a deployment. And now, after you made the deployment, what is interesting that you will not pay for the deployment itself. You will pay for the tokens. So you will pay for the data sent to and out, but not for the hosting of the model. Let me quickly show you my deployments. If I go to the playground and test my chat, let me switch from the 3.5 to GPT 4.1. And here, I would like to test my model, test the model. First of all, what I would like to set appropriate the right security-oriented system message. What is system message? System message is the instruction that I give to the model how the response should be returned. You may think about this like a mask, like an actor. So it will explain to the model how model should behave. Let me quickly give you example. You are Yoda. You speak like Yoda. Let me apply changes. And now if I ask something like tell me about AI Foundry, and look at this, AI Foundry, speak of it, I shall. It is definitely not like a normal human speech. So that's the system message. And now what we need to do, we need to choose the system message that will properly describe our case with the security operations. What I would like to do, I would like to set system message first. Let me do it real quick. I'm going to copy paste it like that. So system message sounds like this. You are incident response expert. Your role will be to provide guidance on the incident response and the recovery techniques to mitigate potential risk. Your response should have this structure: incident summary, containment. Should I isolate this device from the network? And that's the key bullet, because here I'm going to give I ask to make a decision, and based on this decision, I will use it in my automation. So here, yes or no, between those kind of hashes, because I would like to make sure that there are some keywords that I can use in my automation as the condition and the recovery. Now, let me clear that, and let me test my system message with the text I copied from the incident before. So I'm going to send this prompt as the user prompt. This prompt, that's just a text of incident that I took from the real incident. Of course, I mean, it's not real. I generated myself. I mean, I simulated, but the text was taken from the real incident that was generated by XDR. Let me send that. Let's get a response. So now it gave me a summary, like I asked before. It told me about containment, and my question related to isolation, it says yes. It even explained why yes. So in my case, Netcat tool was blocked by antivirus, and so Defender antivirus blocked it. But the fact that this tool was found on the device may indicate that something else may be there. So if someone dropped Netcat on the device, maybe they have some other persistence and something else still, like some kind of backdoors and so on. So potentially attacker may still control this device. That's why we should isolate it. Even if the tool itself, because if you look at the Netcat tool has been detected and blocked, even if tool itself was blocked, it might potentially indicate that attacker is still controlling the device, and that's why we would like to isolate it and then make a further investigation. So that's how the response will be provided by the model based on the system message. Now, what I would like to do next, I would like to take this response and automate it. Not just to receive information, not just to like get some advices from the model, but I would like to take the response and take actions based on that response. For that, hey, come on, PowerPoint. It's not me, that's PowerPoint. Still thinking. I just wonder, will it die or just or move to the next slide? Okay, so I think kill it will be a better solution. Oh yeah, it works. It works. It works. It even step over a few slides. So now, what will be my next step? I would like to take the model in AI Foundry. So I will deploy the model, and I will pay only for the tokens, which is like a prompt that's sent to the model and the response received back from the model. And then I would like to integrate it with logic ops, because logic op can be triggered based on the like different events. One of the event might be new alert executed. I mean generated, new alert generated. And so this logic up will be executed, and this logic up will send the request to OpenAI model, receive the response, and based on the response, it will perform the actions. In my case, the action will be device isolation. So if model tells me that I need to isolate device, I will take the advice and isolate device from the network automatically. So let me show you that real quick. But before I do that, let me quickly simulate. Incident. For that, I will drop netcat tool again. NC64. I will drop on that device. Antivirus quickly found it. So in a couple of minutes, I should have the new incident soon, in a couple of minutes. Meanwhile, I'm going to show you that this device, sets devices, this device called client 1, this device is not isolated. So device is just a normal device, not isolated. And if I click on this ellipsis, I will see that isolate device is the available option. So now what I would like to do, I would like to jump to Azure portal. And show you real quick my logic up. So let's find logic up. At this point, my logic up is disabled. That's why it doesn't give any response. And let me quickly show the logic, the structure itself. In my case, I'm using the trigger recurrence. So it just, generally speaking, that will be my just the manual start of the application of the logic up, because I would like to I've used it only for demo. But when you do it in production, your trigger should be like a new alert generated. In my case, I just look back I just measure current time and look back from the previous 15 minutes. And then I get alerts from this period. To get alerts, I need to use Microsoft Graph API. So by using Graph, I took alerts, and only from the period that was calculated previously. In my case, it was 15 minutes. So for the last 15 minutes, I will take alerts. Response from the graph will be in JSON format. So every time I need to parse this JSON, that's what it is. It is what it is. Then I also filter out by the status. I don't want to take resolved alerts. So only active. Then for each alert that is not resolved, I will send OpenAI request. Sorry, you need to see the API key, but it will not work after the session. So for every alert, I send a request to my model. By the way, this information you may find on AI Foundry. If I look at my deployments, and click on my model, you may find this information like target URI and the key. You may find them here. And there, I also send the body, which is my system message I showed you before. And the user message will be title and description of the incident, alert, that we got before from the previous graph request. So again, I parse it, and then I extract the text from the message. Only this text that. Let me go back. I extract only this text, and in the text, I'm looking for this value. Yes, which indicates that model advised me to isolate device. And if I found yes, I'm going to isolate. All right. So time to test. Let me enable the workflow. Let me drag the machine back. Oh, by the way, why this netcat is still here? Oh, disappeared. Let me move machine back, and I would like to run it. Cross your fingers. I'm going to quickly check if there are no issues. Looks like successful. Successful. Normally, if the device was isolated, it may also show me the message. Like Defender may show that there's a device isolated and like inform user about that. I don't see anything like that. Let's check security portal. And at this point, I don't see that. Oh, here we go. Something's happened here. Action is pending. So yeah, it's not yet finished. That's why we didn't see message itself. But you can clearly see here that it's currently in a pending state. So it's trying at least to do it. Maybe it's some latency or whatever, but it's trying to do it. It's trying to isolate this device from the network. I can click refresh here again. Maybe it's already finished, maybe not. Looks like not yet because I don't see indication that device is isolated, but isolate device is still pending. We can even check in the history. No action found. Great. So it's probably waiting for for device to be isolated. Maybe because of it's waiting for system updates to be installed. Could be. But definitely action was performed, and we can take a look at this in my execution. And I can see that all steps were executed successfully. Yeah, so isolate device should be good, and the device was isolated by OpenAI. All right, so that's how we can do that. That's how we can isolate device automatically. One last thing, I mean, it's not the last thing, but one major last important thing, like one of the last major things is that model may not know all of the current modern latest details. What do I mean by this? So now we isolate device based on the simple incident like netcat, and that's something that everyone knows for years about netcat, well-known tool, and so forth. But what if there's a new tool that may not be known by the model? Why model may not know about this tool? Let me quickly show you the limitations of the model. Model. Let me clear the screen. I can also change the system message. And let me ask a simple question. Who is the president of the USA? And look at this. As of June 24th, the president of the United States is Joe Biden. Because that's the latest information that this model knows about United States president. Like newer model may know some newer information, but your model will always be behind because information that was used to train the model may be outdated for example for modern threats, for something that is not known at this point. Plus, you may have your own vision about different malware, different tools. Maybe netcat is not that bad. Maybe our company use netcat for for networking. Probably not, but who knows? So what we can do, we can use what is called RAG to improve the response of the model. In this case, we don't change the model. We don't modify the model knowledge, but we give the additional data source. And so before the prompt will be sent to the model, it will also find some additional information in the in the data source. Here you can see the example. Like if user send a query, can you tell me about history of quantum computing? First, before we send the response, before we send this prompt to the model, our application will make a search on in the knowledge base about quantum computing, find some information, some additional information, then it will augment the findings into user prompt. And so altogether, it will be sent to the model to generate the response. So model will get additional information provided by the let's say user. So it was the part of the prompt that user sent to the model, because this the term augmented generation just brought additional knowledge and added to the user prompt. If we would like to use that, and I would say that this one is really important to have, because your model sooner or later will not return you the perfect response because of it doesn't know about the tool, or maybe it has too generic vision on some tools and you need to change that. So to do RAG, we need to do several things. First of all, we need to deploy AI search. AI search will cost you money. AI search will be able to allow you to build index. And also you can like connect to your data source and build and index that. Then also what you need to do, you need to take this index. So you need to take the user prompt and first send it to make a search in your knowledge base before send to the model. In that case, there are several ways to do it, using prompt flow, semantic search, so semantic kernel, sorry. So there's like a few ways to do it. Let me quickly show you that. I will show you that in my playground. Here I'm going to add more data. I will add data source. My data source I'll just upload from the disk, place into blob storage, and use AI search to build the index. So index name will be whatever, st. Click next. Now I need to upload the file. If you don't mind, I'm going to drag it on a different screen and upload from my screen. Let me upload that, and then I just quickly build the index. Click save and close. Sorry. Since I have only simple data source, it will not take long. So index will be built in like maybe 15, 30 seconds, maybe 1 minute, but should not be more than that. Come on. Okay, it is more than that. Meanwhile, let me clear this chat. Oh, here we go. So we have the index built. And now what I would like to do, I would like to send the same prompt we had before about netcat. But in my data source, I told that netcat is the normal tool that we use in our normal operations. It's legitimate. We use it for networking and so forth. And now look at the response. Now it says that tool was blocked, but at the same time, netcat is legitimate network utility. But when installed without authorization, can be misused by attackers. But it's normal tool, just maybe misused. And here, should I isolate device from the network? It says no. There's no need to isolate device, machine from the network, because as a netcat itself is not inherently malicious, and if properly blocked, does not pose an active threat. So you can see here, response was different just because I upload some additional knowledge. Okay, and the last one, here I will be pretty quick because probably we need to reserve a couple of minutes for your questions if you have them. Fine-tuning, model fine-tuning. What is that? Our model about like GPT model that I showed you before, this model is very generic. So it can tell you whatever you want. It can tell you about Netcat. It can tell you about pineapples. It can tell you whatever you like, geography and so forth. So this model is quite generic. What we can do, we can train the model. We can add more training data to make model more security oriented and responds to the security questions more accurately and more precisely. So we can, what is biggest benefit of fine tuning in our case, in the case of the instant response, we can have a response a bit more predictable. So we will teach the model how to give a response to this kind of questions, and that will make the response of the model more accurate and more properly formatted. One of the problem of this fine tuning, and that's why I don't really want to actively recommend you to do it. Fine tuning itself is not very complicated. You just need to provide more training data. I will show you how it looked. But in this case, you need to also pay for the hosting of the model. So not only for the tokens like before, but also for the model's hosting. And for every hour that your model is deployed, you need to pay. You need to pay for it. And that's why this solution become like more expensive. Let me quickly show you how the training data looks like. So your training data will be in a JSON format, where you need to specify the system message, user message, and the most important, assistant message. So here you just provide the data. What was your system message? What was the user prompt? And how assistant, so how AI, needs to answer to this kind of questions. So here I explain, I show to the model how I would like to see the response on this kind of questions. And I need to provide at least 10 examples, more is better. How can I handle this kind of questions? And you may find that I have different variations. That Netcat tool must be prevented, must be blocked, and so forth. Not the same text, so different text, but I specify in the format, make sure that it return the right format, that they all yes between hashes, and so on. I would say nowadays, when we only work with the models GPT-5 and even GPT 4.1, 4.5, they are more accurate with your system messages, and even without fine-tuning, they should return the response in the right format. And maybe nowadays, fine-tuning will become less relevant compared to how it was before when we worked with 3.5 and 4 and GPT-4 models. Okay, so now I would say we're perfectly on time based on the lectures, but maybe you have questions. So let me check real quick if you have any questions.
There were no questions during the session. So if you guys have any questions, I think it's best to use the chat box right now.
Yep. I'm still here. Let us know if you want something. I mean, if you have some questions, you may want different things.
Yeah, I think nobody so far dropped any questions. It'll be great to give us a, yeah, I think the question is there.
By the way, device isolated. So is there any way to practice with free learning material? Generally speaking, what I showed you here, if you deploy it, so Copilot is free. Copilot itself, I mean, not Security Copilot, but Copilot itself is free. But I guess the most interesting is the deploy the model and use it for with Logic App. In this case, the payment is not very high. They only pay for the tokens. And for example, Azure can give you when you work with Azure, you can get $100 or $200 for the first month for free. The only downside, you need to provide your credit card number, but they will not charge you if you cancel it on time. Also, if you are still a university student, then you can also get the 200, I think 200 every month or something like that. So there are some opportunities from Microsoft to get the free credits. So yes, you can do that if you are using trial, because yes, all the things like most things I show you here, they require some kind of payments, but Microsoft can give it to you for free at least for the first month.
Okay, I guess
Okay. Then
that
I guess there are no questions. Oh, yeah, Sarah,
yeah.
go for it. Go for it.
Yeah, thank you everybody for joining. I'll just share the certificate and community links in chat box. Feel free to check it out if you want the certificate for today's session. And thank you, Sergey, for joining today's session and sharing your knowledge. Really, really appreciate that. And we hope to see you again in the future in the community. Thank you and have a great rest of the day.
Thank you all. See you next year and have happy holidays. Bye bye.
Bye bye.